Hey, good afternoon, guys. This is Charlie Pankey, Sierra Rec Magazine, Sierra Rec Now podcast. Thank you for joining us today and being back. I am sorry that I was gone for a couple of weeks. Actually had a family vacation planned, and we did get an episode just beforehand posted, but then I have going through some allergy attacks. Maybe you can see my eye today. It's a little bit red. So just been a little off my game, but we are back in the office and, excited. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from our fall issue that was released just before we left. If you haven't seen that yet, it's definitely worth checking out, sierragmagazine.com. We've got some great stories about my son and I's trip in Odyssey and Yosemite. We had Craig Cooper did another trip on the Kershaw Pass on the guide, and it's kind of our fall fishing and hiking guide. Really just a great issue to take a look. Obviously, we're here at the podcast today. We got a great show today. No guests again today, although I'm working on several guests in the near future. I think you guys will be excited about it for the ski season. Wanted to bring to you guys just some updates for the weekend that are going on in Sierra. It's obviously fall. The colors are bright and are getting brighter. Around here, all the allergy season's going nuts, so I kind of get nailed by that. Matter of fact, I want to take a moment here before we get started today, and we talk about that we're going to talk about Reno Air Races. We got some events in Virginia City, talk about Lake Tahoe, etc. So I want to, before we jump into that, I want to thank our sponsors from the Carson Valley at Visit Carson Valley, our home base for all of our adventures this fall. If you haven't been in the Carson Valley in the fall, it's actually a great time to be here. The weather is perfect in the Carson Valley in the fall. The skies are clear. We have fall colors in town here as well. It's a great time to be at the golf course, for example. The river is extremely beautiful. I love going down to the country club and playing golf this time of year. They're hiking, and we're only 20 minutes from Hope Valley, which is by far one of the prettiest places in the Sierra for fall colors. Of course, we're always biased here in our hometown. But the Carson Valley, a great place. They have a great little welcome video here for, please enjoy this for about 20 seconds. All right, great. I do love being here in the fall, except for the rabbit brushes killing my allergies. And sorry about the weepy eye today. So, hey, it is a great time. I think I said this last episode. I love fall in the Eastern Sierra. That there's just so many different festivals and events and things to do besides the fall hiking trails. And I'll talk a little bit of my favorite hiking trails for falls here in a bit. But I want to jump into what's going on around our area this weekend first, so that you had kind of build out a game plan, if you will. The first and foremost, the Reno Airshow is launching. It might be today, actually, might be one of the media days up there. They are got the Blue Angels in town, and we got the Canadian Air Force in town again, along with the whole show up there at Stead Airport. This event used to actually be in the Carson Valley, so we're a little sad here because it was a great experience from our house. The jets would go roaring over the house, and great place to watch it. But obviously, the air races have moved on, so they had an opportunity to do the air show up in Reno Stead, and that's where they're at this week. So expecting a great crowd up there. Going to be a fantastic weather. If you've never seen the Blue Angels, streak across the sky in their formations and do all the stuff they do, it's definitely worth doing. The area on this side of the Sierra is just fantastic flying, as we always hear from the pilots. It's just great place to do their dog fights and all their tricks and stuff in the mountain air. So should be a great show. I know that Reno Stead always does a great job with their air shows up there. And I know I missed the air races. They've been a tradition here in the valley or not in the valley, but in the region for a very long time. And they're going to be missed. But like everything else in Reno, things do change and adapt, and they bring on new entertainment. So it's going to be a very fun event this weekend in Reno. Definitely a place for the family and kids. And, the tickets may be sold out in most days, but, one thing with air shows, if you can find some roads around the region, you'll probably see them pretty good without even needing a lot of camera equipment. So they tend to do, let's see, the Carson Valley, it seemed like about 20 mile path that they used to scorch through. So once you figure out the pattern and go out and watch them practice, probably pretty easy to figure out where to sit on that. So definitely check that out. If you're looking for a little bit more community, fun, laughter, maybe a little drink, I might suggest heading up to Virginia City this weekend. for what is known to me as the very first event I ever saw in the state of Nevada, and that is the annual Outhouse Races. The Outhouse Races in Virginia City are a hoot. There probably never been an event made before that's more for drinking, but it is family friendly. Believe it or not, there's kids up there. But if you've never been to Outhouse Races, they block off the street there in town, and every 30 minutes they have a duel, if you will, of two homemade outhouses on wheels, and they race them up the street. They generally take a break and have a couple beers, and then they come back with two more, and this goes on all day long. So food and drink and all the history of Virginia City ends up being a great place to be. And if you really want to laugh this weekend, that might be the place to be. It really was a fun event. I've done it twice. And I do think that Virginia City puts on a great show up there. So that's one thing you do. The other thing you start thinking about in the region is like Carson City has the ghost walks for Halloween. We're coming up on Nevada Day coming up pretty soon. So there's a lot of things going on for the spirit of October, if you will, in the region. So those two big events, I think you can't miss. Taylor Creek, obviously, in Lake Tahoe. It's probably got fall colors starting, and the salmon are not running yet. I just saw an announcement that the salmon haven't quite started running. That was kind of early this weekend, so maybe check before you go. But Taylor Creek is popular this time of year, obviously in the region, so you don't want to miss an opportunity to see that. If you've ever been to Taylor Creek and you're kind of wondering where that's at, Taylor Creek is on the west side of Lake Tahoe. Before you get to Emerald Bay, it's part of the Tahoe Meadows area, and they have a nice visitor center, their walking path, and a little area where you can see all the salmon spawn in the fall. Lots of bear activity out there, and unfortunately, in to recent past, they actually shut it down because unfortunately people were being a little stupid with bears out there, trying to get their perfect photo shot. They've loosened those rules and restrictions, and people are allowed back out there now. But just remember that bears are beautiful to see, and they're great to see them in a natural environment. But we really do need to be a responsible public and not put ourselves in harm's way and cause problems to other people too. So make sure if you're heading out to Taylor Creek this fall to keep that in mind as you're doing that. So that's one of our favorite places. We go out there probably almost annually just to check out the fish. It's a great little walk, great place to see the aspens in that side of Lake Tahoe. Just as a family or friends, walk around. And what's funny is I've never seen a bear there. So I've been around there as I hear bears have just gone by or whatever, but I've never actually seen a bear at Taylor Creek myself. I have lots of pictures of them because friends see them all the time, but I've never seen one there myself. One of my secret favorites out there, if you like to go off trail and have a little bit of experience, is I just follow the creek all the way up to Fallen Leaf Lake. And there's a dam up there you can cross over, and the tree line around Fallen Leaf Lake, it's got all kinds of aspens and color in it. It's just a great walk. There's no trail. There's a little road. If you go down a little further north of Taylor Creek, there's a road you can follow in that goes through a big section of aspens in there. I understand there's lots of bears in there, but again, never seen one myself. Just let you know that if you're just looking for a day hike or place to go, Taylor Creek's a great place to go for the weekend, or here soon if you're getting around the Tahoe Basin area. All of a sudden I'm stuttering because I know there's another event I was going to cover. I completely forgot what it is at the moment. There's a lot of different events going on. So I've got the air races and Virginia City Outhouse Races, I know for certain. I'll be heading up to Tahoe tomorrow for a little bit of a ceremony. Yesterday, President Biden actually signed the continuation of the Lake Tahoe Basin Restoration Act. I think I said that wrong, but it's been around for a while. But it was expired in September, so he signed it again yesterday. So they've now got that Restoration Act in place until 2034 now, I believe. So they're doing a ceremony tomorrow at Tahoe. We'll bring you that news as we have an opportunity to get there and kind of hear the ins and outs of what they want to tell us tomorrow. So this is what brings the funds. It's brought millions of dollars into the Tahoe Basin for restoration projects over the last 8 years, something like that. And then this is so it may not continue through 2034. And there's lots of projects that are ongoing. Those include, the sugar pine restorations. It includes, Tahoe Blue and keeping the water clear, the meadow restorations we've been doing on, the fire safeties they've been doing around the valley. It's just a big part of keeping Lake Tahoe as pure as possible for future generations. So applaud all those efforts. Lots of companies involved in that. And I'm sure there's political views left and right of how they're spending money or whatever, but ultimately it's all for a good cause. And so that was really big and really good news. And I know here, even the Carson Valley, since we're Douglas County goes right to Tahoe, it's part of our home base here as well, as we're doing that. So as far as switching gears to fall and outdoors, it is fall hiking season, and I just got back from Canada on a family vacation with my family. Did a little, got away from the Sierra a little bit, which was fantastic. By the way, a little plug for Quebec City if you ever want to look for a place to kind of go experience a different culture, kind of close to home. Quebec City was a lot of fun. We went to Montreal as well. I think my kids enjoyed that more than I did probably, but Montreal was just a really big international city, but Quebec was kind of my speed. Kind of a neat thing. I see a massive waterfall there, and went up into the North Country up by one of the national parks. Really cool. You can see some of those photos and stuff I've posted on Instagram and everything. But that's not the Sierra. But I came back to the Sierra. It's fall hiking season. I got a lot of busy stuff on my plate with family weddings and stuff this month, but I'll definitely want to get out and do some fall hiking. So thought I would do today is kind of touch base on some of my favorite fall hikes, and things that where you can see fall colors at and where you might want to go looking at. So here in the Carson Valley, I'll just kind of take a kind of a broader approach and just talk about some of my favorite areas, okay? And then I can hone down to some of my favorites. But obviously Lake Tahoe, I've already talked about the Fallen Leaf Lake area and Taylor Creek. It's a great place to get fall colors. There's no elevation change. You can literally got a nice parking lot right there and just wander around. So great place to see some fall colors in that area. And also the drive back there is really pretty. So that's a really nice place. If you like a really mellow hike that's really close to there, if you go up on Highway 89 to Luther Pass and park and hike into the meadow up towards Round Lake, there's actually a really nice aspen grove in there. But if you turn off to Scotts Lake is gorgeous this time of year. There's aspens the entire trail. It's a nice, easy, I think it's like a 2.5 mile hike in a 5 mile round trip. Got a 250 foot elevation grade out from the highway up to the meadow, and then it's really pretty casual, but just an absolute stunning place to go see a fall color hike if you want to go in your near the Lake Tahoe area. There's also great fall color around Spooner Lake on the east side. So Spooner Lake can get up to even Tahoe Meadows up by Mount Rose and see some good fall colors. As far as going a little bit further south, Hope Valley obviously is one of our favorite places to see fall colors. You can see lots of people on the highway there. You don't even have to get out of your car, and it's good. You can drive up Highway 89, sorry, not 89, but 88, and see lots of fall colors, kind of between Hope Valley all the way up to Caples Lake. Really is prime color area for that road. There's obviously lots of places there. I like to pull off a little bit past Blue Lakes Highway before you get to the old barn house that everybody stops to take pictures of. There's a dirt road that goes up towards what we know as Crater Lake. And in that aspen grove is a great place to park and then walk through the grove. Big, huge aspen area in there. But there's lots of people in there too, so you're not going to be by yourself. But walking through that grove, you get some really cool pictures and stuff. The other thing I like to do is go actually up the Hope Valley and go up the Burnside Lake Road. You don't have to go all the way to Burnside Lake, even though it's a great time to go camping up there, I'm sure. Along the way, about maybe halfway up, there's this great aspen grove that crosses the road right there. And there's a really pretty area in there, too, if you're just looking to get away from the crowd. You're not going to find anybody else up there. Probably be up there most of the time by yourself, maybe a motorcycle or two. Maybe if the hunting season started, some hunters in the region. But that's a really nice area, really close to the Carson Valley, easy to get to. Ebbets Pass has some great colors, especially once you get over the top and you're heading between Ebbets Pass and Mosquito Lakes. There's some great colors in there to enjoy along the road. Plus, the rivers are still flowing, so always enjoy that. There's also a great set of aspens right as you get to right past the really skinny, windy part as you climb in Ebbets Pass from the east side here. So we enjoy the fall colors there as well. That being said, all that being said, if I was going to tell you where is my very favorite place to go see fall colors in the Sierra, um, I personally love going to Bridgeport area, and there's a couple things down there. You got Lundy Canyon, which is phenomenal in the fall season. You literally park right at the base of the fall color, the big aspen grove there. But then you can even hike up past the waterfall and got another aspen grove up there. And if you're willing to walk all the way back to the waterfall, there's even these short growth aspen bushes back there. So it's got phenomenal color in the valley. I think you'll probably find that in a lot of canyons in the Eastern Sierra. I know I was down in Bishop Creek this year. I know Bishop Creek's going to be phenomenal. Never actually seen it in the fall. I've seen photos, but based on my walk along um, uh, by Sabrina Lake and East Shore Lake, or South Shore Lake. I'm sorry, South Shore Lake. There's lots of aspens down there, lots of pretty stuff. So I'm sure that's just phenomenal as it gets ready to go. From Lundy Canyon, you go north, they'll go up Virginia Lakes Canyon. Virginia Lakes Canyon again, it's got a huge aspen grove. Just as you see it right from the top of the pass there, Conway Summit. It's got a massive color spot there, and then you could go up in the Virginia Lakes, lots of color in there. And then my very favorite place is even just a little further north. There's no sign to this, so you gotta just get on the map, go to our website, and look this up. Green Creek. Green Creek is it's about a 5-ish mile dirt road drive back in this canyon. You got to go up and over some foothills back into this area. You'll get back there and go, man, look at all this camping. It's just a beautiful area. But Green Creek is a stunning trail that goes up to Green Lake and East Lake and North Lake. There's several lakes up there. It's a kind of a loop that actually goes back to Virginia Lakes if you follow the loop. But the hike itself goes through this massive old growth aspen forest, and it's just absolutely stunning if you hit it during peak season. We got a hike a couple of years ago during peak. It was one of the prettiest things I've actually ever seen. It was kind of out of a picture book. So that's a really cool place to go. You don't have to hike that very far to see those colors. I'm just telling you, if you hike all the way to the lake, it's colors all the way. And it's just that kind of experience. So that's probably my all-time favorite hike. There are lots of places to see fall colors on the Eastern Sierra, right? June Lake Loop's great. Parker Lake is great. I don't go to the west side very often during fall, so I feel like I can lie to you on that, but that's not really my intent here. Just tell you some of my favorite places that I've actually been. North of Truckee, there's some fall colors too. Sierra City has great fall colors. There's a great hike along the waterfall down there that has good fall colors. As long as that out of Great Eagle, you can get up into Bear Lake and Long Lake. There's some fall colors back there in Great Eagle, which are really fun to hike. We did that last fall actually, and really enjoyed it. Actually, on the very first snowfall, we had snowfall and aspens, which was really kind of a fun picture opportunity. And then Plumas County has a lot of fall colors as well. And I know a lot of people think that Plumas County is all burnt down because of all the fires the last couple of years, and it's really just not true. There's a lot of trees still up there from Quincy all the way to Chester, a lot of aspens in the area, a lot of old barns with aspens, which makes it really cool. So Plumas County, which I go to quite a bit because they're one of our sponsors as well, they have lots of fall colors to check out. So that's not all of them. There you can see fall colors anywhere you go, but everybody's looking for a certain type of thing. The other thing that's really hot right now in fall colors is it's also a great time to catch the Milky Way. And so we've had some Milky Way pictures sent to us, and we've been posting all week. So it's a great time to get out, see a fall color evening, and stay out late and do pictures of the Milky Way. And so when you're doing that, highways like Highway 88 with lots of fall colors, and then you got the scenic area up by Red Lake and Caples Lake where you can stop and take Milky Way photos, or getting up on Ebbets Pass or Sonora Pass where fall colors. Sonora Pass on this side, there are really good fall colors, but I've never known Sonora Pass to be like exceptional for fall colors. There's just some really good pockets in there. But if you're looking at fall colors and star pictures, Sonora Pass might be one of the best. Little secret tip there, if you're into a little bit of walk and your little adventure, park. If you can't drive all the way in, you don't have the 4-wheel drive, park out and hike into Levitt Lake. You'll see some fall colors up that canyon, and probably one of the prettiest lakes to maybe sit and do some star photos. It's going to get dark in there. Just bring your tent, man. So those are lots of tips I have for fall colors. It is a great time to be out. There are some secret spots behind like Silver Lake. Silver Lake is a great little spot to go on Highway 88. You go down behind Kit Carson Lodge back there. There's a trail goes back in a little place called Granite Lake. And I know there's like 17 Granite Lakes, but behind Silver Lake on 88, Kit Carson Lodge, there's another lake called Granite Lake. There's a great little grove of aspens there. And then maybe one of the ones that is kind of most hidden around Lake Tahoe is there's a trail called the Christmas Valley Trail. And it's actually, instead of going to Round Lake, it's way down the bottom of the canyon by the river. You're just going to have to look it up. It's called the Christmas Valley Trail. And it's a little bit more of a climb to Dardanelles Lake this way. But you're following the river the whole way, so the aspens are everywhere. And again, it's not like a big cluster like in Green Creek down in Bridgeport. It's more like you're in a forest with aspens and fall colors everywhere. And so you get kind of towards the river crossing. It's really pretty in there. And so you can really enjoy a nice fall hike and see those colors. A lot of people I know talk about going. This is a great time to hike Tallac, for example, because the fall colors along Tallac before you get up to Tallac's climb are really fun to go through. So you kind of experience the highs and lows of both those ways, trails as well. So there's a lot of different options we could pitch you. I'm sure Truckee and that valley between Tahoe City and Truckee that's along the river's got lots of aspens and colors. So lots of pretty area. I know people find their secret hideaways. Along the Truckee River. It's hatch season. It's fall fishing season, right? Where they call it the Cadas up there, the Cada hatch for the fly fishermen on the Truckee River. So that's kind of exciting time as well. So before I leave you, though, I'll just give you a few more new things that I learned this week in the Tahoe or the Reno Tahoe Basin. The city of Tahoe last night approved a measure that is all land along the Truckee River in Reno that is not developed yet, or is not that's just land they own, is going to be put into the park system, and they're going to try to add parks and access to the river throughout the entire city and make a bigger park district along the river. And then actually bring back park rangers for the river as well. Something that's been needed in Reno for a while. I actually didn't know they used to have park rangers, and what the article I read spoke of park rangers of the past. So they must have at some point had some park rangers, defunded it. So they signed last night they called it a bill to the city land. They signed something at the city that basically they're going to transfer all these lands to city parks and start developing parks along the river as part of their tourism and community development segment. So that was really pretty cool to hear. It's a neat add to the entire system. Yosemite National Park gave us back some hours in the reservation system for the rest of the summer. They changed the entry point for free entry point to 5 a.m. and then instead of 4 p.m., 3 p.m. So you got an extra hour. If you don't have reservations, you want to come in the park the rest of the month. Those reservation systems end at the end of October. So in November, we'll go back to, anybody can come at any time because we're out of the hot season. And if you don't know and you haven't heard yet, Yosemite has put forward a series of plans to move forward with this reservation system. There's controversy over that, especially from the merchants that live next to Yosemite. But Yosemite's opened up for discussion the idea of these different plans and ideas for how to control traffic. And that if I probably could do a whole episode on this from a personal standpoint, but let me give you a 2-minute on this. We're probably never going back to a Yosemite that doesn't have some type of reservation system, at least for the valley. In the summer seasons, it's just not going to happen. It's been found too effective in some ways. The argument is that it's also restricted one of our favorite or most used national parks in areas that doesn't need to be restricted. There's no reason that Tioga Pass and Highway 120 through the park, or Hetch Hetchy, or these White Wolf or these places, that they need to have restrictions on them during the summer season because there's just not enough people up there. And so one of the thoughts is that, I know the merchants are pushing back on this, is that they're okay with, let's add more bus systems, let's reduce the traffic in the valley, let's figure out a control system. I've even heard things like just put another reservation for the valley only. But let the park be open. Let people go to Wawona. Let people, get back in the backcountry and have this access without the reservations. That would really help the business community. I really think that was a pretty good argument. As the business community that supported this park, they built this region up, is now being kind of slammed a little bit for business because people aren't coming. They've only got so many reservations, which is thousands of people not at their doorsteps and availability. So I think it'll be a very interesting time for Yosemite to go through all this. They've got to make some decisions. They're hard decisions. And I really do hope they'll listen to the business community and get some creative thought to it, because the first plans I saw really kind of was status quo, and it didn't feel like they really had the effort to really be creative as a solution. They just kind of slapped the Band-Aid on it and said that works, and living with the consequences a little bit. The other thing that Yosemite's dealing with, though, they've got a lot going on besides funding and stuff, is Wawona Lodge or hotel up there is now been kind of condemned a little bit. That might be the wrong word, but they're going to close it indefinitely in December. If you have reservations past December 2nd, they've sent you a notice saying your reservation has been canceled, because the lodge, after being re-roofed, they found some other structural problems that really were not safe. So they are going to close it down indefinitely and build a plan for what that means for the future, whether they're able to remodel it, rebuild it, make it into an archive, whatever it is. It's such an important part of Yosemite's history that is a very unfortunate event, but that is happening. And so, I'm very thankful that last summer I got to see it for the first time and see it in operations. I didn't stay there, but got to walk around the grounds and enjoyed that quite a bit. I remember I just put an article up online at the magazine this week about that trip and kind of my feelings on that part of the park. So please check it out. Love get your feedback and comments on that story there. So, all right. So we are dead set on fall. It's it'll be winter before we know it here, but we're kind of in heat wave on the Eastern Sierra. So if you've been thinking about coming up to the mountains, we do have great weather right now. Come on up. I was just thinking about Desolation Wilderness today. I haven't been there for seems like 2 months, and so I need to get back in there too. But we do hope the Sierra is within your sights. It's in your future. We do hope you come up and see the small businesses and enjoy the community and all the festivals and beer festivals and Oktoberfests and everything else that's going on. There's more things to do. We do have a new calendar on SierraRecMagazine.com, so you can see some of those calendar events. We have our new hockey team kicking off this next week in Lake Tahoe. So if you like hockey, come to do the Tahoe Night Monsters kick off their season. And they have a full schedule for their first season. So we're really excited about that here in Tahoe. And other than that, we hope you're getting ready for ski season. I know the ski resorts are already counting down days and got their employees getting hired, et cetera, et cetera. So it's going to be a fun time. Palisades Tahoe already sent me their winter upgrades. We'll have some information for you on that. Their anniversary year coming up. So lots to come up, man. We're excited. And we've got some snow guests coming up for you soon on the show. So it won't just be my voice. And I think people might enjoy that more. But wherever you're at today, I hope you have the Sierra sights. That's part of your future. And that you are blessed by your family wherever you're at today. Please join us next week for the show. We'll bring you some more fall highlights, and look forward to talking to you then. Have a great day.